What's up guys, and welcome back with some more Arknights, and today we're going to be checking out the Oversimplified Vigilo Event Story. Now this is an event, well it's like a mini event type thing, but I looked at how long it would take to do it, and just from the cutscenes I saw it'd be like 4 hours, and then if I was to read it out loud on stream it would take like 6 hours, and I'm like, oh god, no. So we're going to watch the Oversimplified Event Story for it, okay? So this is going to be us getting the general gist of what happens in this event. So shout out to Frostbite262, want to make sure we get proper credit. And I think this has, what, 6 parts here? And they're not too long either, but the reason that we're checking this out in the first place is you guys said there's information in here I do need to know before we go to chapter 9, so I mean, it just makes sense to check this out right now. So as always, if you enjoy this video, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you enjoy it, and subscribe to Frostbite also. But let's get right into this, shall we? So as far as I know, this has to do with the doctor? I think? I'm ready to brush up on Arknights lore again.
Vigilo event is finally here.
Okay.
The story of this event is focused on the Doctor, mostly telling a little bit about the Doctor's past before amnesia, and current situation after amnesia. Most of the story takes place after the event in chapter 8, and some other before the fall of Babel. So let's get into it.
Alright, let's do it. I'm ready.
In the first part, the Doctor, Amy Blaze and some others are in Colombia. Rhodes Island held a technical exchange with other company. An officer from Mama John's Cooperation
from Mama John's, not Papa John's. Okay.
Wanted to retail the newly developed oropathy medication from Rhodes Island. But Supreme Leader Amy declined. Because the drug is still on trials and not yet ready to commercialize.
Okay.
Not going to let the opportunity slip away. Being a scummy cooperation and all. Mama John's hired mercenaries to take the drug sample by force.
Sounds about right.
Start their action and sabotage the Rhodes Islander.
They're like, you're not gonna give it to us, we gonna kill you.
While the others dealing with the mercenaries. But surprisingly, the mercenaries managed to take all of the drug samples.
Really?
Meanwhile, Amy and the Doctor were being chased by other mercenaries. The car autopilot system fails, and the car fell off the cliff.
You know, typical Arknight stuff. You think that you're safe and then you end up falling off a cliff. You know, the usual. Continue.
Both of them survive, but ended up in a wasteland without vehicle.
Nice.
Then they met a merchant traveling around the wasteland.
Welcome.
I was just thinking of, when they said a merchant, I was just thinking about the Resident Evil 4 merchant, bro. What are you buying?
I'm sorry, wrong game.
Yeah.
They met Cannot, a familiar merchant for us the player. He
got tentacles in there? What the
guidance to the nearest messenger outpost, so that they can reach out to the other Rhodes Island personnel. The three of them then start traveling through the wasteland to that outpost. Along the way we got some interesting trivia about Amy's survival skill that she learned from the Doctor in the past, and about a bunch of mercenaries dwelling in the wasteland called Rusthammer. The Doctor also keep having a vague memory about the past, and wondering about what kind of person the Doctor was before amnesia.
A scumbag.
Days later, the three of them arrived at the messenger outpost. They heard a news broadcast about Blaze, and the other that went into a conflict with the local firm. After that, Cannot shows them something.
Tentacles.
Company employee from Mama John's were distributing an oropathy suppressant to the Colombian infected worker and wasteland pioneer. Few are given for free, while others for commercial sale. But after a closer look, those things are not oropathy suppressant at all.
Oh my god,
the
really?
Were being deceived with some generic painkillers.
What did you think they were gonna do? What did you think? You thought they were actually just gonna give this stuff out? Hell no. Just take some basic painkillers. You know, just here. You want some Tylenol or something, dude? Yeah. No, that's totally gonna take away the oropathy. You'll be fine.
That Mama John stole. They can convince even more people about Mama John's oropathy medicine. Not going to let it slide. The Doctor came up with a pretty wild ideas.
Shank them all.
For that, the Doctor revealed about Cannot's friends that were following them this whole time. revealing that Cannot is a part of the Rust Hammer.
Oh my god, he betrayed us.
Asked Cannot for his help if everything went south. In exchange, he can keep those documents that he took from the doctor's car. And then we know about what the doctor was planning.
What was he
Basically,
cooking?
the doctor will go to the Colombian customs and tell that we, Rhodes Island, smuggled oripathy-related drugs to Colombia.
That's a crazy looking, like, mask, helmet, whatever you want to call that. That thing looks wild. Jesus.
The government quickly seized the evidence, and Mama Johns was forced to destroy all evidence regarding
Shame on
this
you,
event.
Mama Johns.
The doctor
Shame.
got a sweet jail time for 4 days, and Rhodes Island must pay a fine.
4 days.
But in the end, everything went well.
Nice.
Except for the part that the doctor must explain this to Kelsit.
And she was gonna be pissed.
That should be all. Adios.
Okay, so that was part 1. So that was part number 1. Okay. Are they just gonna play catch with each other? Oh, okay, that's adorable. Playing baseball. Okay, so that was part 1. Interesting. Mama John's out here, huh? Not Papa John's. Alright, part 2. Let's do it.
One day in Rhodes Island landship, Kelsey was examining the doctor and said that the doctor indeed didn't faking his amnesia. The doctor's skill that he had once before amnesia are implicitly recovering. But the doctor's mental condition is still unstable and still don't recover much of his memory.
Yep.
Kelsey tells the doctor to not overwork himself and then tells him to get back to work. That's really something, although not explicitly saying it. But Kelsey cares about the doctor.
See? She's not fully
Moments
angry
later,
at us.
the
Okay, she
Doctor
was still pretty
encounter
pissed
Earth
though.
Spirit in the landship navigator. Earth Spirit warns them about the potential catastrophe that might hit Rhodes Island.
Gotta love
And it
catastrophes.
turns out a catastrophe really hits the landship. Unable to retreat, and staying put is also not the best option. The Doctor came up with an interesting formula and calculate the safest path through the storm by going full throttle, driving straight ahead through the sandstorm.
Listen, sometimes you just gotta full send it. Just go straight into the fire. You'll be fine. Yeah.
It might seem risky, but Rhodes Island managed to pass through the catastrophe.
Of course they did.
Later, Doctor met Kelsit in his room. She compliments the Doctor and tells the Doctor that the formula he used was one that Doctor invented in the past. Meaning that the Doctor still remembers about his knowledge as an Originium researcher.
You got that brain power.
The Doctor asked Kelsey if she wanted the Doctor's memory to recover. Kelsey hasn't concealed her hatred towards the Doctor in the past.
Yeah, it's still there.
And rather hearing it from the Doctor himself, whether he wants his memory back or not. Once the Doctor's memory back, many questions will be answered. However, not all of them will be satisfying to him.
I mean, yeah, based off of what we've understood so far, we know that some messed up things happened. And Cal do be really pissed off, and Cal doesn't want to tell us certain things. But sooner or later, we're gonna figure out what the hell happened in the Doctor's past.
We see the Doctor
Hey, yeah.
approving Aege's application to become an
Hey, yo.
operator, as her analysis helped the landship surviving the catastrophe. The Doctor welcomed her if she ever wanted to talk about anything regarding Originium. And Aegis said that seeing the Doctor work hard, there's no reason for her to giving up on her goal to become a researcher. That should be all. Adios.
Really? Okay. Alright, so that was much quicker, that part. Okay, okay. Talking to Cal and such. Which is, it's basically like the same other parts of talking to Cal about it. You know, she's still angry and stuff. I mean, it is what it is. Part number 3 out of 6. What do we got?
The story starts with the Doctor having a flashback before the fall of Babel. We see Scout and Ace.
The
arguing
homie
over some
Ace!
kind of
Listen, moment of silence for the homie Ace. Okay.
red industrial box device. Ace bet with Scout that it's just nothing but scraps, while Scout betting it was something important. The Doctor walks in and promised to look into it later. Together. Back to the present day.
Yes.
The doctor wakes up in his room and preparing for work. But Anya shows up and told the doctor all the meeting was postponed. And the doctor can relax for a day. The doctor then go to the cafeteria. Some people were surprised seeing the doctor. Because doctor normally don't go to the cafeteria early in the morning.
It's not Cardigan.
After
right?
finishing his sanity breakfast, the doctor went to a warehouse in the land ship. He met Beagle, who was cleaning Ace's shield that was kept there. Both of them reminiscing about Ace.
Oh, the
Beagle
memories.
tells the doctor that Ace is a good person, and always spare his time to train newbies. And she wanted to become the kind of person just like him. Sounds like a foreshadowing. The doctor spotted a box filled with belongings from the deceased reunion member. Despite their crime, some of the reunion were just an infected fighting for their rights. Before leaving, the doctor spotted a red industrial device from before. The story shift to W.
Hey yo,
Having a
W
little
supremacy.
Conversation with I guess her friend in the land ship boiler room. After parting ways, W encounter Ascalon, an old member of Babel and Rhodes Island elite operator. Ascalon said it's time for both of them to go to Victoria. And from here, we got a concrete info that Inez is still alive.
Wait. What? Wait. So the copium worked? The copium worked? Is what you're telling me? Because I read this is the lady from the Arknights memoir, right? That's where she's from, right? Like if my memory serves me right, she was in Arknights memoir and we thought that she died. But I was like, no, she's gotta be alive though, right? Copium, they never found the body, right? So, oh shoot, yeah, so from here we got a concrete info that Inez is still alive. Yeah, this has to, yeah, she has to be, this is the same girl.
Later, the doctor visit the
wow, they just did, I like how they just gently, yeah, we just threw that in there. Oh, chat, good on you for not spoiling that for me. I'm actually proud of you guys. You did not spoil that.
It is said that Rhodes Island is so big that the doctor haven't been in every place in the land ship. The Sarkaz boiler worker from before wanted to have a chat with the doctor, though he's just a simple boiler worker.
Just a simple
but
boiler
he's been
worker.
with Rhodes Island since Babel, and wanted to protect what the Queen left behind. The Sarkaz worker talks about W and reminiscing the past. You can check the full conversation in W archive file 4. Later, Amiya told us about the industrial device from before. The doctor, Closure and Amiya, then trying to open the thing. After successfully opening it, the device pops up a beer. And turns out the thing was just a vending machine.
Ain't no damn way.
Remembering the bed between Ace and Scout, the doctor then puts the beer beside Ace's shield. That should be all. Adios.
Just reminiscing about Ace and the impact he had on Rhodes Island. That's a big oof. But yeah, the fact that Inez is still alive is just like, oh shoot, okay. That's some big information. Playable Inez? Playable operator. Part number 4. Let's go. See what we got here.
The story takes place before the fall of Babel, and around Arknight memoir in Kazdel. Teresa, the king of Sarkaz and leader of Babel, learns about the doctor from Kalsi. She wishes to meet the doctor, and become her advisor. Sometime skip later. Kazdel is on a civil war, between Teresa and her brother Teresa. The civil war is getting worse, and with the opposite forces is getting stronger. And with many spies and traitors appearing in Teresa's side, Babel is on the risk of getting sieged. Without any options left, Babel must retreat out of Kazdel. Days later, on the Kazdel border, the doctor is attacked by a Sarkaz soldier. But Scout walks in just in time to prevent the assassination attempt.
Nice.
Scout wanted to execute him immediately, but the doctor wanted to listen what the traitor has to say first. The Sarkaz blamed the doctor and Kalsi, because he thinks they are manipulating Teresa
Huh?
to get out from Castel. But turns out in this difficult time, the Sarkaz is losing his faith with Her Majesty and blaming it on the two outsiders.
Just putting the blame on somebody else.
Walks in. Teresa acknowledged the Sarkaz, Marco. He done a great service for Babel. But she said what Marco had done is not something that can be forgiven.
So what's she gonna do to him?
Marco is on desperation, and not even dare to look at Teresa. Scouts suggest Marco should be punished for his betrayal.
I mean, yeah, he gotta get punished somehow.
It means a death sentence. But first Teresa wanted to hear the doctor's opinion. The doctor unexpectedly suggesting that Marco should be exiled. But Kelsey opposed the doctor's idea. She said a traitor shouldn't be. The
doctor's like, yeah, you could just get the hell out of here. We'll let you survive. Cal's like, nah, you probably gotta die, huh?
And Teresa shouldn't let her tolerances become her weakness. Teresa then demands Marco to be detained. And lets Ascalon decide his punishment. Marco regretting his action, and feeling Teresa's merciful aura. With the little dignity he has left, he begged Teresa to kill him personally.
Yeah?
But Marco was quickly restrained by Scout. Later, we see Kelsey and Teresa. Teresa is saddened by this betrayal, and worried about her other follower.
I mean, you did say there was a lot of snakes in there, a lot of traitors.
That will come and help escort Babel.
Hey yo.
The doctor walks in and speak to Teresa about Marco. To avoid embarrassing his king, the traitor committed suicide. Teresa asked the doctor opinion again about Babel's action to relocate its position. And she said that she truly trusts the doctor. That should be all. Adios.
Yeah, so she really does. I mean, she really did value the doctor's opinion at a pretty damn high level. And she obviously valued Cal's also. But Cal was on like a different wavelength than us. Being like, nah, they gotta truly be punished if they're gonna be traitors out here. So they were just full with snakes and liars in there. Part number 5 out of 6.
The story starts with Corset and Doctor at the Rhodes Island deck, having a nice conversation, and remembering various things in the past. Kelsey mentioned something about a mission that Blaze just finished. This caused the doctor to have some feeling of deja vu, and remember something in his past. We see Kelsey and the doctor again, but it was the time when they still in Babel. Scout reported about his mission failures, which is a rare occurrence. His squad found the traces of enemy troops. He made a decision to follow the trace, but ended up being ambushed. Scout is willing to take the army's punishment. But the doctor said Scout deserved recognition rather than punishment. Because Scout managed to keep his squad alive on the retreat. The doctor then saw Scout struggling with himself. Scout asked Kelsey about the condition of a girl named Rieka. Who I think is in Scout's team and the real reason why the mission fails. There's an intense moment between Scout and the doctor. Scout tells the doctor about Rieka's background. That she's an innocent girl and only wanted to serve Her Majesty. But Doctor didn't take those as an excuse, and remind him it will be bad for disciplines. At the end, the doctor pats Scout on the shoulder, and said no one will be punished.
I mean,
as
far as I could see here, the doctor is very, like, forgiving and understanding. He wasn't ruthless. Doctor was not ruthless out here.
And promised to value the life and reputation of himself and his squad. Shifting back to the present day. Still on the deck. Kelsey talks about Closure and the plan for Rhodes Island to go to Victoria. She mentioned that Closure is a potential combat operator. So the doctor can
playable Closure.
Discuss strategic things with her besides macro transaction. Shifting to the time when Kelsey and Closure having a conversation about the trip to Victoria. Closure mentioned something about an underdevelopment area. That even as a chief engineer herself, she still doesn't know anything about it. The story shift again to the time where Kelsey, Doctor and some other personnel help transporting patients to other temporary locations outside of the landship. Because for God knows what Rhodes Island will encounter in Victoria. The story shift again, this time when Babel is still standing. Kelsey and Dr. worries about Teresa's health. Teresa's weary face then flashed a smile of relief when she saw a young Amia.
Oh, look at
worried
Amia.
about Ascalon, leaving for a mission, away from Babel. Her Majesty assured Amia that there's nothing to be worried about. But unknown to them, a calamity will soon come. The story back to the present day. Kelsey suddenly asked the doctor what it means to be alive. The doctor said to be alive is to be free.
Why you
But
put that
Kelsey
picture of
said that
Aaron?
freedom is
Oh
not
no.
free, and said that ever since the doctor came out from sarcophagus, the doctor barely had any choices. Kelsey asked again to the doctor, what is it the doctor fighting for? The game give us 3 different choices. Whichever you pick, course it will tells you to not forget about your choice.
I am fighting against my destiny. I fight for Rhodes Island. I fight to protect this world.
That should be all. Adios.
Okay. That Eren Yeager freaking picture started making me think about Attack on Titan, dude. I'm like, man, I haven't watched that in a long time. Jesus. Alright, part number 6. I thought that said Pingus. I was like, bro, what the Pignus.
The story starts with Closure inspecting PRTS, a Rhodes Island AI.
Which stands for Priestess.
And Doctor Assistant. PRTS is a very complex, or should I say a very mysterious AI. Closure and PRTS had some chat. And then Closure found a simulation program for sarcophagus rescue mission. From the many number of simulation tested, only 2 came out successful.
Oof.
And the operation ended up take 3 times more casualties than anticipated.
Let the bodies hit the floor,
Closure
huh?
didn't want to talk about it. She said it's all in the past. But she kept thinking what will happen if they don't rescue the doctor. Maybe things will get better without Rhodes Island encountered Reunion and Ursus. Or maybe things will get much worse. But Closure also said that with the doctor in Rhodes Island, things turns out to be better as expected. But nonetheless she feels sorry for the comrades that lost their lives.
Yeah, a lot of bloodshed.
Closure then talks about her past before joining Babel and Rhodes Island. Closure, real name Ada Church.
At a
Came
church.
from an ancient bloodline of Sarkaz vampire from Kazdel. And had a talent for the vampire bloodline arts technique.
Really?
But as you might expect, she is a rebellious person. And tends to do unorthodox things in her family.
Yeah, I could tell.
At some point, Closure become a knowledgeable engineer. And infamous hacker. One day, Her Majesty Teresa barged into her place. She was looking for someone to break the shackles of tradition. And for that she needed an engineer for her plans.
Big brain.
Her Majesty didn't even convince Closure or anything, but Closure agreed to join. Closure then talks more things about the doctor. How the doctor have changed after sarcophagus rescue mission. And how the doctor himself brought change to Rhodes Island. Some text later, Closure was about to leave. And surprised when she sees the doctor in the room. Closure leave, and the doctor talks to PRTS.
Hey yo, talking to Priestess?
The doctor asks PRTS about who exactly is the Priestess.
Yeah, what the hell's going on?
PRTS went silent for a moment. Then tells that the doctor doesn't have the permission for the question to be answered.
So wait, so if the doctor doesn't have permission for the question to be answered, who does? Cal?
And surprisingly, no one else have it.
So how the hell are you supposed to get that? If the doctor doesn't even have permission, then who would... Huh, that's weird.
Didn't get any answer. The doctor
doctor's
leave.
like, F this dude. Wasting my
But
time.
after the doctor leave, PRTS load a video file, titled PRTS First Functional Test. And there we can see the doctor, and someone who is believed to be the priestess.
Okay.
And after that, PRTS begins to shutting down. That should be all.
What type of cliffhanger?
Adios.
What? So we don't get any more info from Priestess because we don't have access to it. That's it. So there's the oversimplified event for you right there. What the hell? Big shout out to Frostbite for the video, by the way. Leave a like for you right there. What the hell, dude? I'm just like, okay. So we found out some more information. Cal and the doctor talked. We found out Ines is still alive. Found out some information about Closer and such. Reminisced about freaking Ace and the impact that he had on Rhodes Island also. So I'm just like, okay. Yeah, this was good. This is some interesting information. It's all just like fluctuating in my mind right now, but I'm like, all right. Because I want to get to chapter 9 or episode 9, whatever you want to call it, pretty soon. So I guess the other thing I'll have to check out, maybe for Walk in the Dust, I'll just check out one of these videos so we could get to chapter 9 pretty soon. Because I'd like to like get that going before the year ends, chapter 9. So yeah, and if there's any other information that you guys feel like I should know at this point, without any spoilers, but in the range of the story that I'm at right now, please let me know in the comment section down below. It is greatly appreciated. But yeah, very interesting information. So Walk in the Dust info, well, like the lore on that, we'll check that out next because that's about Cal. And then from there, chapter 9 of where we'll actually play the stages and read it how we typically do. So yeah, stay tuned. So if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button. If you haven't already, subscribe. If you're new, Discord servers in the description box below. We have an Arknights channel there where people play and talk about the game. If you'd like to support Frostbite out here, subscribe to them, leave a like on their channel. Always helps out some other good content creators. But until the next one, my dudes, I appreciate you for watching. Love y'all. Stay safe. And as I always do say, don't do crack.
Be sure to subscribe to the Special K Experience if you enjoyed this video. If not, you're going to Femboy IHOP.